So after knowing, see, we have learned the very first thing how to keep or how to write a polarity. Fine. Then after we have understood, when we have something, you know, in between two loops are there and we are having some branch in between them, how to write down say the KVL equation for such things. Then the third thing that we have understood, if in between two loops we have a current source, how to deal with it. Fine. Now today, before going for the next topic, it is really compulsory for us to understand the classification of sources. There are two types of sources we know. One is independent sources, one is dependent sources. Is it clear? Fine. Independent sources, they are represented in Boolean, that is circle. Fine. Okay. If it is a voltage source, it is plus minus, so it is a voltage source. And if in Boolean you have an arrow, it is called as current source. Fine. Okay. In a circle you have an arrow, that is called as current source. Fine. So these are called as independent sources. When we talk about dependent sources, they are obviously they are also having two types. One is a voltage source, one is a current source. But on the quantity upon which they depend, we have the classifications of them. Fine. If there is a voltage source is obviously plus minus, it's obviously plus minus. This is also a voltage source, this is also a voltage source. Okay, I cannot have a circle here because circle denotes independent source. So what will be having? We'll be having a diamond. Fine. Sakkarpada voltage, so sakkarpada. Fine. So we are having a diamond over here. Fine. Okay. Yeah, Kaju Batri. So we can say that this is a voltage source. It's in diamond, and hence we can understand it. It's a dependent voltage source. Fine. This is also dependent voltage source, and without current source, obviously it will be also a diamond. Fine. Arrow. So that's a current source. Fine. How exactly these sources are working? So let's have a very basic example. We have a network which is like this, and yes, so we'll keep it this way, plus minus 4ix, and say this is ix. Fine. This is a network, and in this network we can say this is a voltage source. It depends on any other current, and that current is given in the network somewhere, which is here. Fine. So this is a source which depends on current, but itself it is a voltage source. So we can call it as current dependent voltage source. इसको क्या बोलेंगे? Current dependent voltage source. Suppose it is 4ix, so I will say that it is current dependent voltage source. Fine. Is it clear? It is current dependent voltage source. You have also another name of it, which is current controlled voltage source. Dhyan. It is also called as current controlled voltage source. Is it clear? Fine. Okay. The second thing is, say if I have this as 4Vx and this is Vx, voltage across this resistor. Fine. Okay. So I can say that it itself is what? वो खुद क्या है? It's a voltage source. If I write 4Vx, depend किस पे कर रहा है? किसी और के voltage पे कर रहा है. So I can say that this is voltage dependent voltage source. Fine. It is also called as voltage controlled voltage source. Is it clear? ठीक है? Fine. Okay. Now इसको control कौन कर रहा है? Voltage कर रहा है. And hence it is called as voltage controlled voltage source. Fine. Okay. Let's deal with the next one. Current source. For that we'll be drawing an arrow like this. Fine. So if I have 4Vx, say 4Vx is there. So वो खुद क्या है? Current source. It itself is a current source. So it's and it is depending upon a voltage. It is depending upon a voltage. So it is voltage dependent current source, or it is also called as voltage control. Control कौन कर रहा है? Voltage कर रहा है. Voltage controlled current source. Fine. Is it clear? And when we talk about this, it is say 4ix. So can I say that it's 4ix? So ix is here. So I can say that it is current dependent current source, or it is current controlled current source. Is that clear? Fine. So this is a basic classification of sources. Because now the next thing what we will be learning, it is based on it. Is it clear? Fine, write down.